Hi! Today we're going to turn one of these into something that looks like one of these. Well, welcome back to the shop, everyone. It's been a little while. I have been very busy with other things, and I finally have some time to mess around in the shop. Now, I did go ahead and prep one wing panel with all of its control surfaces, flap and aileron. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what's on the docket for today. Alright, so as you can see, I've got my completed wing panel right here, and I've got another one on the bench ready to go. I want to point out a number of tools that I'm using before I get into things so that you can see what tool I'm using, know what it's called, and then be able to reference what I'm actually doing with it when I get to the time lapse. So what I'm going to do here, just go over everything one at a time. Obviously, I've got a lighter for various reasons. Namely, what I'm going to be doing with that lighter is heating this rod to go through servo horns. Okay, and obviously I've got my servo tester with a battery. I've got a bender in case I want to use that. I've got pliers that have snips, regular pliers, needle nose pliers, CA glue, 3-in-1 oil, tight bond, though I probably won't use the tight bond. Probably be using more Gorilla Glue. Medium CA. I've got a razor saw, piece of wood, sanding paper with sanding block, got a marker and a screwdriver with bits, and I've got this little doohickey diddly daddly thing here. And what we've also got is a Dubro slotting tool put on here. Is one of the sizes of the slotting tool, and we'll go over what that is used for. I've also got a set of Dubrow Hinges. These are the same hinges that I pulled out of the crashed Bearcat from earlier this year. These hinges are still good. I went ahead and prepped them by removing any paint or glue that was previous by either scraping it off with a razor blade or sanding block. So you can sand these things off, and frankly you want to sand them anyway, even if they're new, just so that you can increase the surface area. It's really important that you get as much surface area as possible, and sanding will certainly help with that. I've also used the 3-in-1 oil to pre-lubricate these hinges, and you'll see that I will lubricate them again before installation. But as you can see, we've got a nice clean slate here. We have our rough spots located when we covered these, just as we remember them, but not here. Why not here? Well, that's okay. We will find them because they're pretty straightforward to find. They're pretty easy. Anyway, so I'm going to set up a camera. I'm going to get the time lapse running. I'm going to get all of this done, and then we'll cover some things afterward. Let's get to it. wing over there, wing over here, fully assembled, glue still curing, foaming out a little bit. Now, why did I use Gorilla Glue on the hinges? Mostly because I had pulled out hinges previously from this, since it's part of restoration, and everything, all of the holes were pre-existing except for the ones already in this flap, because remember, I had some damage there that I had replaced some pieces of wood. Took me a minute to remember that as I was looking for the holes, but it's all good. That's why we have this tool. So this hinge slotting tool is amazing. It's not sharp per se. It's just a nice pointed tool that you push into the balsa and it makes a slot. There are additional, where is it? Oh, come on. Come on. Where did I put it? There it is. There it is. I knew I had it. Put it in the wrong drawer. So the quick hinge slotter, it comes with, you know, if you want to like have a centering tool for your slot. I roughly eyeballed mine where I wanted it because I knew where I wanted it, right up along the edge. But yeah, there are lots of other tools. There's wider ones for wider hinges, and there's a medium one too. I prefer the small one just because it gets me started on my slot and then I can move along. So put that aside, close that, put it in the correct drawer. How about that? Okay, so moving along, the reason why I use Gorilla Glue is to help fill those gaps, okay? Now, the reason why I use the 3-in-1 oil is because we're using a plastic hinge. And the 3-in-1 oil prevents the Gorilla Glue from expanding into the hinge. All right, so when the glue is dry, we're going to take these handy dandy little tweezers and we will be able to pick at this glue and remove it. So right now it's still a little foamy and tacky, so it's a little stretchy and stuff. We're not getting exactly everything, but you get the point. That's what we're going to do. Moving on from there, I drilled holes for each one of the hinges and I dropped some thin CA down in the hole after I pre-threaded with a screw. The reason I do that, you create a little corkscrew for the liquid to use capillary action and go down into the hole better. Makes sense. All right, so then from there, I'm using Clevis Tools. Now, I love these Clevises from Dubro. They are amazing because you don't have to use a piece of fuel tubing. All right, so you're using an actual metal pin inside here that fits inside the plastic hole. So you have very little plastic wear from that rotational energy, and not to mention this thing locks. Oh, I can't even pull it out. Can't pull it. There we go. Got it. So this snap in right like that, and it is not coming out. Freaking love those. Love those. And I did keep a little bit of adjustability in here. I can adjust the length inside here. Those thread on super easy with your threaded rod. Kept my throw really short so my flaps stay nice and strong. And the reason that I use the fire with the rod that's the right size is I want a totally tight fit here. I want to eliminate any slop. Same reason I do up here for the aileron. Similar procedure. I'm using a ball link here because I prefer ball links on my ailerons. And I happen to have this in my stash already. So using Dubro control horns, these are super duper strong. I freaking love them. They come with amazing socketed hardware. And yeah, they go penetrate super deep. Other parts fell off the bench already. Oh, where'd it go? I have no idea. No idea. Anyway, they have square backs that you can, if the control surface is thin enough, if it's that thin, then you can put the piece of square on the back, and these will screw into that piece of plastic and sandwich the balsa. Amazing and strong. Will last a very long time. Now, when I had set up the first swing originally, I had played around with the location on my control horn for here, because I wanted to take the advantage of the full range of servo movement here mechanically. If I moved it up or down, it wouldn't have taken full advantage of the movement of the servo. So this is what is meant by trying to set up your airplane mechanically before you go to program it in your radio. So I'm only going to have to minor adjustment only for my flaps when I go to set this up in my radio. Maybe only adjust my endpoints 2 or 3 clicks. Same with the ailerons. I had them plugged into my servo tester while I was setting all of this up. That way I made sure it's nice and center. It's pretty even with the flap as well. That way everything is mechanically centered. I don't have to worry about trims or further adjustment here with my threaded rod. Just set up your mechanical stuff now while you're already looking at it. So that's it for today, guys. I mean, a lot of tools, just a little bit of time, and you can get your linkages and your control surfaces set up pretty easily. From here, we got to move back onto the fuselage, and just a little quick, I'll just mention it, that I've already done some painting. Just some primer, nothing too fancy. All right. So the object of the airplane at this point is to start assembling everything all together. It's time to get this airplane in the air. We have to assemble everything back together, check our center of gravity, make sure that we have our batteries secure, and then we can fly it, and then we'll start doing some of the fun details. Hey, last of all, guys, I have to again give a huge shout out to our partners over at Dubro. Man, they make some fantastic hardware for this airplane and for any airplane, really. Using their linkages, their control horns, and today I'm also using their hinges. Love their stuff. Their hardware is so strong, so robust, and it holds up to a beating. I have seen crashes where you'd think there's no possible way you'd be able to salvage anything, and you can salvage the hardware every single time, almost every single time, swear. So big shout out to them. Thank you so much for helping keep this restoration moving along. So until next time, continue to properly hinge your flying work of art.